Hi friends, welcome back. I am making an impromptu video this evening because we had a really great experience this evening and I just put the kids to bed and I just thought I'd share it. Not because I'm trying to brag, but just because I am like, whenever I'm teaching my kids, I feel like I have this like teaching moment and I'm like, I'm so great, I'm such a good mom, I've got this great teaching moment. It ends up usually being more for my benefit than for theirs. And so I was really encouraged by a teaching moment that I had with my kids today, and I thought that I would share it with you guys really quick. So we went and saw Santa today. There's a like garden center near where we live, and they have a really great Santa. And so we went to story time with Santa, and it was like an early time, like 4 o'clock. Oh, my kids are up.
I just did the same thing. So that one is to show Pop. This one is to show Where.
Okay.
So step 1.
Step 1.
Make coffee for Grandma.
Make coffee for Grandma.
Yes.
Okay.
Step 2. Make pancakes for Grandma.
Step 2, make pancakes. Okay.
And that's all right there.
That's all. Okay, I think that's a good step. Thank you very much. Go to bed. Stay in bed.
I do with the not the pancake, other.
Okay. Stay in bed, please. Good night.
You are a good boy.
The kids are going for a sleepover in a couple weeks with my parents, and so they are making steps on what to do. Make coffee. They're going to make my parents breakfast at bed, coffee and pancakes. So anyway, so we went to see Santa, and he's a really great Santa. We've gone several years in a row now to see him, and I think he actually does remember us. I might be fooled, but I think he might. But anyway, okay, so after we had story time with Santa and got to ask him for the things on our wish list, we went to Olive Garden for dinner. I had like a $50 gift certificate to Olive Garden that I've had for like ever. I was holding on to it for a date night with my husband, but it just hasn't happened, so I just took the kids. So we went there afterwards, and as we were walking in, my son held the door for a couple behind us, like a older couple. They're not old. They were like maybe 60s. And my son held the door and the lady came through, and then the gentleman was like trying to get my son to go through, and my son was like, no, I'm going to be a gentleman. You go first. And so the gentleman walked through, and, you know, they complimented, and the lady was like, good job, Mom. And I was like, no, because I have messed up so many times today. Don't even tell me good job. I said that I didn't tell him to hold the door. He did it on his own. He's a good boy. So then we got sat and we were eating, and we were like halfway through our meal, and a waiter came up and was like, I have a dessert for you. And we were like, we didn't order dessert. And he's like, I know, they told me to give it to you. I don't know who it's from. And I was like, okay. I said, I bet it's from the couple that was behind us. And sure enough, their waiter came up a few minutes later and was like, my table that's sitting on the other side of the restaurant wanted you to have a dessert. And I was like, thank you so much. It's so sweet. Tell them that we appreciate it. And so we're enjoying this dessert, which is not on my meal plan. And I was like, this is brilliant. I have a teaching moment with the children. So I was like, you know, Max held the door for that gentleman. And I asked all the kids, Madison, did you hold the door? And she was like, no. Morgan, did you hold the door? And she was like, yeah. I'm like, no, you did not hold the door. Mommy didn't hold the door. The only person who held the door was Max. But look at who's receiving the blessing, because Max is obedient and Max is kind. God told him to hold the door for that gentleman and that lady, and he did, but look at who's receiving the blessing because of it. So it was a great teaching moment on that our actions don't just affect us. And my sister-in-law was actually just in like a really bad accident, and so I used that. I said, not only do the good things we do affect other people, but the bad choices we make affect other people too. You know, my sister-in-law was driving and she did nothing wrong, but somebody still hit her in the car because they made bad choices, and it was a bad accident. I shouldn't say accident because it was a crash. And I said, you know, when we make choices, whether they're good or they're bad, they don't just affect us. We may feel like they only affect us, but they don't. It's like a ripple effect, and your choices that you make, consequences, good or bad, affect more than just yourself, affect the people around you. I said, you know, someday you guys are going to be teenagers, you're going to be adults, I'm not going to be around you, you're going to have to make decisions without consulting me first. And I want you to realize that your choices have a ripple effect. They're going to affect the people around you. They're going to affect your parents. You know, they're going to affect mommy and daddy. They're going to affect your siblings, your spouse if you have them. Like, you have to make wise choices, because you're either going to bless the people you're around because you're making wise choices, or you're going to hurt the people around because you're making poor choices. And honestly, I mean, they're little, so I don't know if they even get it. Probably my oldest gets it. But I really think it was more for me. Like, I need to make good choices, because my good choices as a wife, my good choices as a mom are going to bless my husband. They're going to bless my children. It's not just me that is going to be affected by my good choices. The rest of my family, the rest of the people around me, my mom and dad are going to be affected by my good choices. My in-laws are going to be affected by my good choices. Like it's not just about me. Our lives are not we're not the main character in our lives. Like, we play a role in this life that we're in, but we're not the only important people. And so I don't know if you're struggling with something. I don't know if you're like ready to give up on something, but I just want you to think about the consequences that could come from a poor choice, or the blessings that could come from a good choice. And I don't know, I heard somebody speaking once. She was going through a very difficult time, and she said, I just want to make the next right decision. Like, I'm so overwhelmed with what's going on in my life right now. I'm so devastated by where I am in my life that I can't think 85 steps ahead. I can only think right in front of me. And so my prayer is to just make the next right decision. And sometimes we get there. Sometimes we get there in motherhood. Sometimes we get there in wifeyhood. I can't tell you how many times I've thought, like, the kids are grown and gone. I don't know where he and I are going to be. But I can't always focus big picture. I'm a big picture kind of girl. I like to have my end game in mind, but sometimes you just have to focus on the next right choice, because all of your choices have the potential to have a ripple effect. And if you make good choices, the right choices, if you're obedient to God, you have the potential to bless so many people just by you being obedient. But the opposite is also true. If you make poor choices, or you're disobedient, or you're just kind of ignoring what God wants for your life, those choices also have the ability to affect more people than just you. So anyway, it was a teaching lesson for the kids, more a teaching lesson for myself, and I'm sure that the lady and the gentleman, the couple that bought us to dinner, is not watching this, but if you ever see it, we were greatly blessed by it, and we were so thankful. It was such a wonderful thing for my kids to see that, you know, good actions can be rewarded. So anyway, until we meet again, bye guys!